Hi there, welcome to yet another video. My name is Cynthia Wakio. I'm the Communication and Events Manager here at Corporate Staffing. Today we're going to be talking about a service we offer here, HR Consultancy, and we have our in-house expert who is going to take us through this. Mr. Pamina Swainaina, karibu sana.
Thank you, Cynthia, for having me.
Thank you for being here. And I want us to start by you giving us a bit of a background about yourself and why what HR consultancy is all about.
Great, thank you for that question. So for me, I have over 12 years of experience in HR, consulting for different companies. These companies, they range from medium-sized firms to international companies. Now and then also we get requests from SMEs, companies looking to start business, and we also help them in the area of HR consultancy. So when you talk about HR consultancy, it's about us helping companies put up HR structures. So a lot of times, and I'll give the example of medium-sized firm, you'll find that someone has started a business, and when the business is young, you have very few staff. So it could be you, an assistant, and maybe one other person. But then you find as the number of employees increase, then it becomes complex for you. So remember, when you're starting, when you're few, it's possible to have personal relationship with the staff. But now when you have 20, 30, 40 staff, then you find it becomes a challenge. And that is why you have two options. You can either hire a full-time HR manager, or you can come our way where you outsource your HR and we can be able to help you. So in terms of how we work with clients, we work in two ways. There are clients, number one, who put us on a retainer. So we become the in-house HR, and every month we are engaging, and they pay a small fee for that. Or we can come in on a project basis. So we can come in for 3 months, help you set up HR processes and systems. And then after 3 months, you can either do it on your own, or you hire maybe an assistant to continue now, because it's more or less maintenance. So it depends with the client, and we are flexible in terms of the arrangement. Yeah.
So tell us more about the services CSS offers.
So in terms of HR consultancy, so what does it involve or entail? So you'll find HR is becoming complex by the day. So whether we are talking about how do you come up with a HR policy, how do you come up with employment contracts, how do you come up with job descriptions, how do you do performance management, setting up KPIs for the team, how do you handle the issue of the labor laws? For example, just the other day I saw there was a circular from TSC on how they are going to deal with the employee issues. And there are all these other emerging HR issues. So our work is to act as your HR expert and help you on a day-to-day basis on your HR matters, so that you can now be able to spend time on your core business. So sometimes you find managers and business owners, they are facing so many HR issues, and it's taking their concentration, their focus away from the business. And that obviously ends up hurting the business, because then you're not being as effective. So if you bring us on board, or when you bring us on board, then you remove that headache from you and leave you to do your core business.
Yes. So let's talk about compliance. What areas as an employer should I look out for?
I think the biggest issue I've found with compliance is, how do you let a staff go? So you find a lot of the issues, especially you'll find the court, the labor court, is all about unfair termination. And what I tell many employers, sometimes it's a justification for sending this person home. But the question is, did you follow the due process? So I would say there are many employees who are taking advantage of the ignorance of the employer. So you'll find an employer, they have a justifiable cause. This person has been coming to work late. They don't produce the results as they are supposed to do. Then you as an employer, you don't make it in writing, you don't give them feedback, and one day you fire this person. Now remember, the courts, they're interested with the documentation, they're interested with the process. And if indeed you didn't follow that process, regardless of how much fault the employee has, then it will be deemed as unfair termination. So I would say, yes, termination is one of the big issues you find. The other one is documentation, like now employment contracts. Do you have a sound employment contract in place? And basically your HR systems, even the issue of policies and procedure. Like now, many employers don't know that you need to have a sexual harassment policy. If you have certain number of staff, you also need to have a grievance policy in place also. So we make sure that you're compliant. And it's quite unfortunate because when you talk to many of the medium-sized businesses, their focus is compliance when it comes to, finances.
Yeah.
But now we are seeing nowadays, there's also a need to comply when it comes to matters to do with people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. You mentioned earlier a very interesting point about having an in-house HR professional and a consultant. So tell us the difference and what is more beneficial and much cheaper.
Good. Another great question. So when you are starting out, there's no need for you to hire a full-time HR professional because it's going to cost you at the end. So I highly recommend what you should consider is the complexity of your business and the stage your business is at. So the example I've given, if your business is young, then you're better off dealing with experts such as ourselves. We set up systems and procedures for you. Then also, if you look at your business and you realize, well, 95% of my staff are skilled people. They could all be graduates or diploma holders. And it's a small firm. Then again, you don't need a full-time HR professional. Yeah. But on the other side, let's say you're a manufacturing company, you have 300 members of staff and 200 of them are casual or 250, or you're in the hospitality industry. So if your business, the staff requires what I would say close supervision, then for sure you need your own HR person as opposed to outsourcing. So look at the complexity of your business and look at what stage is your business at. If it's at the beginner, then you can outsource. However, if you've had 10 years of experience, 15 years of experience, and you have all these large number of staff, then getting your own person would be more ideal. And we do offer advice on how to recruit. In fact, we can recruit for you a competent person.
Yeah. Okay, so we have a lot of HR consultancy firms here in Kenya. So what makes corporate staffing stand out?
We have been exposed to various industries and sectors. So whether you're in manufacturing, whether you're in the service industry, we've worked with NGOs, we've worked with hotels. So that gives us quite good exposure to understand the very dynamic issues when it comes to people management.
Yeah. And in our first meeting as an employer who want to use your service, do I have to pay for consultation or is it a free consultation?
Yes. So what happens is when someone makes a request, we highly encourage a one-on-one discussion. So you meet either at our office or at your premises, and the meeting is free. And we just, the free service doesn't end there. So we look at what you have. We audit how are your current system and processes. Because a lot of times when clients engage us, they'll be talking about symptoms. So the example I was giving off camera, someone comes and says, I've been taken to the labor law, the labor courts, the labor office. And you'll find that that's a symptom. Why? Because the employee could be complaining about maybe I wasn't paid my final dues. So the question is, do you have a contract supporting that? Or they are also complaining of the way they were terminated. So the question is, do you have a HR policy? So yes, we will help you deal with the immediate issue, but also we will look at how do we address such that in terms of system, such that now that does not reoccur in the future. So if you are watching this video, don't be afraid, send the request. The first meeting is free. You get to look at your processes, your system, and be able to advise you. And from there, we'll even be advising you from the point of knowledge, saying, oh, the work ahead of us, you take 2 weeks, a month, or maybe even 6 months to support you.
Okay, so you've worked with local and international firms, but tell us the success stories. Which kind of organizations have you worked with, and has this been successful?
Yes, we not only support local firms, we also support international firms who are looking to do business in Kenya. In fact, for them, I would say it's very critical because you see, when you're a foreigner, when you're in a new place, you need to understand how things work.
Oh, very true.
Yes, and so we act as their advisor, as their guide, whether it is in terms of providing them with documentation, templates, to make sure that they are compliant. And we do have very many success stories. And I remember of this SME owner who really, he wanted to shut down the business because he was saying, all I'm doing is putting in the hours and my staff are not as productive. And it ended up, the staff really were also complaining because they didn't have job description. They didn't understand what was expected of them. So when we sat with these business owners, we identified that it's actually the lack of structures which is making him feel so overwhelmed. So we came up with job descriptions for him. We came up with KPIs. We also did employment contracts for the staff. And within 3, 4, 5 months, the business has now had started to really thrive. And he's one of our consistent clients because even now he still calls us whenever he has a recruitment need. Yeah.
Oh, that's quite successful.
Yes.
Yeah. So let's talk about engagement from the start to finish. When an employer comes to you, they want the service. Take me through that.
Yeah. So get in touch with us. So whether it's email or you filling a form or on our website. So the first thing we do is have a meeting. We'll do a mini audit and both of them are free. And then now after doing the audit now, based on your needs, we can start to execute. And so this one depends on the needs of the employer. Yeah.
Thank you so much for that insightful session. It's good that you actually help employers to stay on top of things when it comes to HR matters. So thank you so much, and I hope to see you next time on this video or the next one.
Thank you, Cynthia, for having me.
All right. Yeah. Thank you so much for watching this video. As you've heard from the expert himself, if you have any of these issues, please fill up the form, leave us your details, and our HR consultant will reach out to you and help you to the last step. Thank you so much, and see you next time.